because I have too many components plugged. I just think that there's not a lot. Well, there's a plug here and a plug here, but they wired the internet router to sit here. And then, so I got to do router, and then I got light tree there. Anyway. Alright, I'll figure it out. Oh, now I'm getting hot. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I need a haircut. I got this little bleep thing going on. Not real sure what that's about. I never had that little blip thing going on. Oh, it's kind of cute. We'll allow it. How you doing today, Ma? Yeah, how's supper? I made chicken noodle soup. I've never done that before. I'm doing a lot of firsts today. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I was thinking about it. I saw Bad Religion with Offspring. I believe it was. I think they were on the same ticket as Stir, Concert Cove, and Council Tucky. Council Bluffs, Iowa. In I don't know, I'd have to look it up. I think it was 2012, 13, somewhere in that window. 11. Somewhere in that time. I've never worn this sweatshirt. Because I won't wear it out. The back makes me uncomfortable. It's offensive. People find it offensive, and it's gimmicky to do things to piss people off. And in the world today, it's just not a good idea to go out and be an antagonist. We're looking for more peacemakers. So I'll show you the back of it. I don't know what's going on with this. This shirt I haven't worn. I've only worn a couple times too. So, I don't know. I have all these clothes. And I'm finding all these clothes I haven't. And plus I've lost a bunch of weight because I've been so stressed out. It's my Addison's disease. My weight fluctuates. And so I've been really stressed out. So I'm at a place where my weight's down. So I'm able to wear clothes that I haven't been able to wear in a while. So anyway, this is the back of it. The band is Bad Religion. I freaking dug them since I was a kid. Anyway, that's the back. It's a cross with a circle and a line through it. And I just feel like that's an invitation for somebody to shoot me. So I will never wear it outdoors, but I got to wear it here today. I had a lot of fun hanging out with my buddies, driving around in a Fiat, listening to Bad Religion, the Generator album. You know, I'm a little punk rock. Anyway, all in all, today was a pretty I don't know. It started out kind of weird. What's that? Oh, it's just you're Stan Lee. Good girl, Luna. Good girl. Stop scratching on that. The full moon's got him all. He'll start running laps here in a minute. He's been running laps the last 2 days, just through the. And you know what's so funny is that when we first had to move, and I have done talks for 6 years, so 2 years ago, I just kept picturing us in a trailer where Stan Lee would just be running through the house, just content. I don't ask for much in life. So, I had some lab work done yesterday at the local VA clinic here in Taos. Because otherwise, I gotta go to fucking Albuquerque? Past Santa Fe, so it's 2 hours away. And I'm not willing to do that. I can't leave Mom for that long. So I won't. I mean, they got all this video chat stuff. Let's do let me see the clinics here, send it down, make it happen. Don't put people through it. More stuff than they already got to go through. There's lots of ways to be more accommodating I'm talking to the federal government instead of accommodating themselves. Anyway, so I talked to a PA this morning. It was kind of interesting. She was in Dallas, Texas. Now, to be a lawyer, you got to be licensed in the state in which you practice law. And if you practice law outside the state, it's bad juju. Bar slap. So, I think it's interesting that PAs and doctors can, because that's what they do. Like, they don't have enough people to fill the positions because people haven't been very ambitious the last, 10, 15 years. They were resting on their laurels or something. So, I don't know, society got weird and crazy in like the last 3 years. It's really kind of sent it over the edge. But I talked to a nice woman, a PA, and she told me I had a UTI, urinary tract yeah, I've never had one. Well, no, that's not true. I used to get bladder infections when I was a little girl, when I was very young, and I'll tell you why. I know exactly why I got them. And maybe if you know kids that are freaking young, and I don't know, society's different now. So I was a really bashful kid. I had a speech impediment. I didn't say my aw's. They cut my hair short, so I looked like a little boy because I was always stocky. And I have a lot of masculine energy. And so I would go to the bathroom, like we would be out, like go to the grocery store or be in a restaurant or something like that. And I'd be like, boo, 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 bebopping, go, boo, boo, going into the bathroom. And I cannot tell you how many times from even as an adult, the last time I happened, I was in Hy-Vee in Omaha, and I was like in my 30s and it happened. That some old lady or some lady or would be like, are you in the right restroom? Are you a boy? I would just be like, oh man, it just fucking hurt my feelings. And I'm like, I've had boobs since I was 12. So people are just dumb. They are. They're just dumb. They've always been dumb. The majority of the percentage of the population. Right here. This is how far they look past. Anyway, so the lady told me I had a UTI. And, I gotta finish my story. So people would question me if I was in the right restroom. So that built up a fear in me that I hated public restrooms. So I would hold it. And I would hold it from the time I was like 3-4 years old. And I'd hold it and I'd hold it and I'd hold it till I couldn't hold it anymore, and then I'd pee my pants. Then I'd get in trouble for peeing my pants. So not only do I have to deal with the suck of the adults being dickheads, then that was my solution. Well, I just won't go to the bathroom. I'll just hold it. And then I get bladder infections. And then when I was in my early teens, they fucking stuck metal rods up in my urethra to stretch it out. I mean, the stuff that doctors do, I'm not really a fan of medicine. So I'm kind of apprehensive about going, but I need to know that I'm healthy, so that's why I go. And I was because I never would have guessed I had a UTI. Isn't it supposed to burn when you pee when you have UTIs? Or something? I don't know. It does. I never would have known. But I know a guy right now who's going through bladder issues, and I'm supposed to take him on Monday for a surgery, get a tumor removed after his bladder. So I wonder what planet rules the bladder. I'll have to look that up and see where it is in my chart. So they're overnighting me 2 days, or I'll get it. I should get they're sending me a series of antibiotics to my PO box, so I should get those Saturday. So this is like maybe I'm 48. This is maybe the third cycle I've ever done, because we just have always, when we get sick, we tough through it. We don't go to doctors and stuff like that. I'm Gen X. I don't know. And there's a lot of Gen Xers. Don't say you're Gen X because you don't act like it. As far as I'm concerned, I guess you're the other side of Gen X. You ain't the same Gen X as me. But so what else happened today? Oh, I fixed the 2 screens yesterday. I didn't mention that in my talk. I don't know why, but I was so excited because now we get the windows open. It's starting to get super chilly though, so there's like a window about 3 hours, but still, we love having the fresh air and airing out the house. So that was an accomplishment. That was just like, okay, one less thing to do. And what else? Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. I don't want to necessarily listen to this song. Before this talk, Mom and I have good conversations. I should just record her and I having conversations from time to time. Or me talking. I guess that's kind of what I do here now. But, I wrote it down. Hi, baby girl. You going on? You gonna go lay down? I made a note of it. Because somebody posted on Facebook, like, this tour of Def Leppard and Poison. All right. Now, they were popular when I was in high school, junior high. Like when I was young. Rat, all the, Quiet Riot, all Dio. I mean, I know the full spectrum. I've been tracking music my whole incarnation. Be chill, Lou. Where you want to sit? There's places everywhere. So, and I was having a conversation with the Earth Angel today, and I was like, and we were talking about like energy, like why are they, why my interpretation of why they still tour is this. It's all about energy harvesting, okay? And you keep, and music is I think it's the biggest proponent on the planet that can influence people's moods and emotions, because for me music is significant, and because it contains memories of where I was when I heard the song. Things like that. And it's like a time machine. And it can take you there. Like play a widower or widowies. Play them their wedding song. Or if they're out and they happen to hear it, especially if it's like from 40 or 50 years ago, you can just they'll be back in a while. I mean, it transcends the spirit. Music does. So that's why they keep touring, see? Because the gift is of God, good orderly direction is being in the present moment. Understand? God isn't in the past, and God isn't in the future. So you keep bringing back the music that reminds people of the good old days. They're not doing anything, concentrating at all, trying to do anything to make the present moment better. Look how much of the world is just living in their gluttony. And I'm not even talking about just like overeating. I'm talking about just overspending, overconsumption, power hungry. I mean, all of it. It's just, the world is just running self-riot. So I always understood that God isn't in the past and God isn't in the future. God is only in the present moment. So they look how much effort the powers that think they be put in to keeping society worried about the future or longing for the past. Think about what could happen if people focused on the present moment and then had some sort of collective positive intention for that. Oh wow, I imagine what could happen all the time. They have done studies of stuff where they have had like people that have been in group meditation, putting focus on somebody that has cancer, and it shows the cells of cancer, because they're just like, praying for it, just like the dissolving of this freaking low vibrational frequency, because that's what disease is. Stanley, and it just dissolves. What we're seeing now is the dissolving of humanity. I dipped into Zach's talk for a little while today. I haven't heard a live from him in a while, and stopped in to see what he's up to. And it's just, it's me. It's my thinking. He's doing him. That's a good thing. But whenever I hear support the work, I'm like, my mind looks at it like, what, he just bought a new house, so whatever money he gets is going to his house payment, so he could sit there and do research, which is valid and important. And he just doesn't get that he's a piece of the puzzle. He's a piece of the puzzle. There's a much broader spectrum. There's bigger things at play. And to degrade people such as that, it is a turnoff. He was talking about how, like, everything's gone down, his views, support. I'm just like, dude, you talk shit about... I don't even talk that much shit about people. I talk like in a general way, like groups of people, like the people that don't give a shit about themselves and don't try, so they feel miserable, and then they go out and make other people feel miserable. I brought the Roku out last night. I'm late on stuff. I just got my first Roku, and I brought it out here and was watching It's a Wonderful Life. I love old movies. I grew up on old movies because I couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, and I'd watch Turner Movie Classics or classic TCM. Anyway, and I would just watch shows like My Little Margie and I Married Joan, and Mom always was watching those old war movies and John Wayne and stuff. So I've got the whole full gamut of the programming. At the first a jazz singer. That was the first movie. I think that I could... A jazz singer. Wait, I have to look that up, because I ate a cookie, so I could have my wires crossed. But the first words ever spoken in a movie. Or was it? I know it has jazz in it. Now I'm second guessing myself. So I've been drinking water all day. Okay, time to drink more water. Every now and again when I go to town, because I deserve it, I'll treat myself to not an electric vehicle. I'll buy myself a cherry Sprite. And so I decided, because I'm really trying to cut down on my sugar. Oh, they did say that, because that's the reason why I had to redo my labs, is because my sugars were high. He never told me what the numbers were. He just said, I just want to see those come down. I was like, nothing measurable. Right? So, the lady said, I asked her, I said, could you tell me, she's like, I said, what? She just said, oh, your potassium's fine. You got a UTI. And I said, okay. I said, what was my sugar? She said 94. I said, what's the scope? What's the range? And it's like 98 to 58 or something, 60 something to 98 or something like that. And I said, could you tell me what I had last time? Because last time, I guess my glucose was at 119. And then now it's down to 94. So anyway, yeah, that's all I care about, is knowing where those levels are. You keep those levels, and everything else is kind of you're Then they want to do all, they're like, do you want this? And then, oh my God, the girl, it was a positive experience. I even told the lady, because actually the woman that called yesterday to remind me of my appointment she used to work at Taos Chiropractor, real nice lady named Beverly. And she was really happy to see me too. And she's full spectrum, I can tell. She called to remind me about my appointment, and I don't remember. My train of thought derailed. Sometimes sometimes these songs come on and it's just like psh, psh, psh. It's all yeah, it's I could see how it can control people. It makes my train of thought derail all the time. But that just means I need to focus more is all that is. So, I told her, I said, this has been such a positive experience. You might change my mind a little bit about bureaucracy. Because there's a young girl that called earlier to do a pre-question screening about, they just ask you all kinds of questions, and she's like, okay, she's like, I have one more. I could tell it was kind of like a brace yourself, like, it just, I could feel the apprehension in her whole being. She's like, I have to ask this question. Do you identify as straight, lesbian? And I know she had a list. I said, let me stop you. I said, that is the biggest bunch of bullshit that the fucking VA administration, the people that are supposed to be helping veterans, even give a crap about that. So I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to decline to answer because it's nobody's business about that stuff. The only thing that people should care about is if adults are going after kids. That's it. That's it. Or animals. Those twisted mind gutter fucks. Those are the ones. That's it. But it's like, nobody needs to know stuff like that. Why does it matter? Unless you want to take somebody out on a date. Just ask them. If they shoot you down, they shoot you down. Shit, careful. They might actually shoot you down. Second Amendment. People are freaking getting it twisted. So, anyway, I told them, I said, listen, there's something wrong with your system. Because I check in with the psychiatrist, whatever, one of the head people, just to document, to let them, oh, Marge is okay. It's a paper trail. Everything's a paper trail. My videos are a paper trail, but you never can tell. One day it could just be gone. And I have to, but I have a lot of videos, but all the videos that I share here, I also share on 4 playlists in Pinterest, Twitter, and 2 places in Facebook. So my data is being stored 6 other places besides the tubes. It's all about data storage. And my stories are my stories. I just tell stories. Anyway, it could happen. Yep. So I was telling him, I said, every time the doctor called, the psychiatrist called to set up an appointment, I would call back the number that he gave me, and it would just ring evidently to an empty room without any sort of answering machine on it, because I did it 3 times. And finally, I just quit. I did. I called 3 times. He called me and said, call this number and set up an appointment. And I did. And it would ring. I was just like, I live in the 90s, just got to allow for stuff, divine timing, right? So now the lady that did the question, she's like, I could, are you all right, Ma? Mm-hmm. She's like, I could set you up with, at that appointment today. We have the Dr. W in the office there. And I was like, yeah, that's his name. That's the one that they wanted me to talk to. And so she's like, yeah, he's right here. We can set you up for an appointment tomorrow. So I'll go see him tomorrow. And that should be interesting. So tomorrow's talk should be interesting to see how that went. He's like in his 70s. So, or eight, I mean, he sounds like he's just real old. So anyway, because I won't take pills and stuff like that. And I'm an advocate against them. I don't think anybody should. It ain't natural. It's not what God intended. Nope. Anyway, so, and then I had to call HughesNet Internet, worst internet service I've ever dealt with. It's just ghetto. It's totally frickin' foobar. And when I moved here from Arizona, I ended up just being able to transfer service. I just left this stuff, right? And then, evidently I paid $300 for the equipment that I left behind. I don't know. But that's how much it's going to cost me. But I do have the modem, but evidently there's a part inside the satellite that I'm supposed to cut out and send back to him. And that little radio transmitter thing in the satellite costs $200, is going to cost me $200. The router's only $100. So at least it's not going to cost me $300. It'll just cost me $2. Just because I will never go back to that property ever again. I will never, I mean, I can't even think about it. I mean, it's like triggers me. I get triggered by just, people think it's funny and cute to talk about trigger. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that triggers me because I've seen a lot of assholes in my whole entire life, and every day there's constant reminders, but I just get to tell myself, that was then, this is now. This is now, that was then. This is separate. This is a new asshole. This is a different asshole. This is more bullshit. Because evidently people can't just be decent to each other. Because of how people look. I have never judged people how they look. I go by how they feel. And when they are low vibrational and they just got blips, and that means they got the big puffy coats and the freaking, they're just the Gucci and the freaking... And the Vogue stuff and all that pretentious fake bollock BS, just everything that keeps people out of the present moment, because it's la la land. That is not how real people live. Real people do not live that way. And to get people to aspire to live that way, that ain't a real thing. So, my back. I wonder if that, yeah. Anyway, it's just, and that story, these are the weird stories I've been tracking. I don't know what other people are tracking in the world, but there's this woman in Iowa near Omaha on the border, or near like the Nebraska border somewhere. I can't get the exact location. I haven't really specifically looked. Well, maybe it said it and I haven't looked up, because I just used to on the weekends, Mom would let the dogs out and I'd just take off and go drive and take pictures in the Midwest, in the Middle Earth. That's what I called it. So I that's where, yeah. Anyway, because Mom would take care of the dogs. Now it's different. So a woman has been telling the authorities for years that her father was a serial killer. He used to go to truck stop, go to places where he would find single women that were vulnerable, bars where they would get drunk, and he would take them and kill them, and then take them back and then dump them down the well on the property. And and the woman that kept trying to report her dad kept saying, he would have me help. That's how I know. You guys gotta come. And the guy died in 2016, her father. And she's been just adamantly and that's the thing, is police, either they know about it and they don't want people to find out about it, or they're just so lazy they're not even worth their paycheck. That's what it's coming to. Not the fit ones. Not the ones that care. There's a lot of good people that like have right reasons, there's just too many that turn. There's too many that like, I'm just going to try the heroin one day that I'm taking. You see what the big deal is, and then all of a sudden they're freaking hooked on heroin and they're junkie cops, you know? I mean, people fall, their spirits fall all the time because they don't got the proper tools to keep them raised to live their vibrational frequency from a heart space of love. It's always about self-serving, all that greedy, gross shit. So, yeah, I pretty much freaking... I didn't cuss. I didn't yell. I didn't talk bad about the man that I was talking to. It's the company. It's the corporations. I understand he's just a simple man that is just doing his job. But I'm just like... yeah, he got my placements today. He got the full moon energy in Gemini as expressed by Marge. You know, and I love it. I love it. I wonder how many companies all over the United States, they use my voice as a training exercise. Because I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. But I didn't say anything I have to make an amends for, so I'm good. Anyway, so they'll be sending me a box, and then I'll put the modem in it and send it back and kiss goodbye to it. I said, and then you fuckers better stay out of my bank account. So help me. No, I didn't even say so help me. See, everybody could use things as like threats and stuff. I'm not. I said I'm not a violent person. I just talk smack. I talk a lot of smack, a lot of shit. You know. I could back it up. I just hope I don't ever have to. I hope I don't ever get myself in a position that I'm freaking, you know. Because I know when people are disheveled, I know the ones, you just know, don't, just leave that alone. I have the ability and some sense of discernment. Yes, I do. So what else happened today? I made the chicken soup. That was pretty good. Turned out good. I put some potatoes in it. I wish I had, I don't know. It was fine. It was good. Can't go wrong. Throw a couple basil leaves in there. You know, I'm trying I've never made that chicken soup before. I'm trying to do all this stuff just different. You know, because that's what you got to do in order to get, you know, if you're not comfortable with how your life is, you got to do things different than you've done it before. People keep wanting their lives to get better, but they just keep doing the same behaviors over and over that they've always done. They're not willing to go outside that comfort zone or even put in extra effort. You know, they are now. More people are now. I'm seeing a lot of good changes. And I do credit Marge astrology for one time. She said it was a period of, I don't know, within the year and a half. And she said, for the good things that are going to happen, are you going to be open to it? You know, because sometimes people are so used to getting screwed over that you just kind of get in the mindset that that's just what's going to happen. You're just going to continually be screwed over. And that's, you know, it becomes an expectation. And I really try not to live with expectations. It's really hard, and it takes a lot of years and a lot of intention. I can more than not, but sometimes they pop up and bite. Oh, that's why I'm not supposed to have those. Just a reminder. So it's the expectation, you know. People. Oh, it's all so much. I haven't even looked in the... Oh, there's... Hi, Cat G. Welcome to my toot. Hey, Maud. Gotta go. Have a good night. He always pops in and bounces out. He's a very busy guy. I wonder if he got my email. You know what? You know what? My butt is such a trip because besides my buddy who I have to take... He just said, take me in the song right now. That is the Underdog is the song right now. Imagine Dragons. But there's a third person I know that has a kidney, as like a bladder. I don't know if it's a UTI, but something like that. So I know 3 people too. Yeah, but but I mean, I didn't really react real well because they gave me a no, I'll bring. I think maybe tomorrow, just to be I'll just wear my gas mask in. I'll just wear that in. I'm here to see the psychiatrist. Would that be funny, Ma? You think he'd find that funny? I don't think he'd find that funny, but I might do it. We'll see. I did that when all of this crap first started coming out with the CV that just occurred to me. The CV, that was my high school, was CV. How funny is that, Ma? That's funny. Central Valley High School. Well, when I went to high school, it was Central Valley. Now it's the city of Shasta Lake or some bullshit. Some non-flowing. It's like Jesuitville, USA in freaking Redding. It's on the 40th parallel, same as Omaha. Or Omaha's like third. Yeah, they're all the same. It's all the same creepy vibe. Same creepy frequency. They have a freaking... Go check out the sundial. How come more people aren't talking about the sundial bridge? Talk about the crazy Jesuits. I went to a freaking... One time when I was in a Rainbow Girl freaking ritual at the Masonic... At the lodge. My friend at the time... We're not friends no more. Happy Ocean... Her dad was long, and they were just freaking racist assholes, just pigs, man, dirty, and there's like incest and all it's just nasty. I mean, I grew up with this. I never knew it didn't exist, and then when I talk about it, people be like, "Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy that people let it exist." And I remember there was a place. The place still exists. A woman I talked to. When I was trying to find a place to live, I wanted to move back there, and God said, "No, you ain't doing that. You're gonna go to New Mexico instead." She was saying that women from churches around the local community still go down to Lost Lanes, up on North Market Street, and pray, because that's where they do the sacrifices. That's where they have the altar. It's all. I never went back there. I always chickened out. I always I don't need to be around that. I know evil exists. I was freaking raped as a 10-month-old baby. I know freaking the nastiness. I know what the people feel like that perform the nastiness. I see them every day. I feel their lack of freaking spirit. It's like, whew. There's an episode on Northern Exposure that some nerdy dude, which was Satan, came to town, and he just tempts people to freaking just do things to make people feel bad, and then people start liking it, and then before you know it, look at the world we live in. We've been told, we've had choices. Don't live like that, live like that, And even I was listening to Zach's live, and he was talking. So he was reading some comment about some kid that just started betting. It's like, okay, now what do you do with that money that you win? Do you pocket it? Do you give a stranger $100? Do you buy people socks? Do you get them, some hammocks, so the ones that are out homeless, at least get them up off the ground? Sleeping bags, stuff like that. Those little heating packets. There's all There's so many people out there homeless that don't want to be. They don't have a choice because the system is so broken, because the people that are created it are too busy paying themselves and telling themselves that how much they deserve to make more money because of all the hard work that they do not helping people. And now we got this collective wave of karma coming in, good, bad, whatever, indifferent, don't matter. It's all coming in. I don't think a lot of people are going to have a very Merry Christmas. I don't do Christmas. I just like the pretty lights. I grew up in the 70s, 80s. I'm a light bright kid. I used to just freaking stare off into there and just want to live inside a light bright. Just imagine what it would be like to live in a land of lights. And here I've manifested it in some capacity. Mom likes it too. We don't keep it on very long. It's mostly for the talks because it... Just cause. Anyway, so what else happened today? Yeah, it was just kind of a chill day. It was kind of snowy, or it was rainy last night, and then it turned to ice, and it's the temperature like next week. The highs are going to be in the 30s, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. I just, my endocrine system is shot. 8 anthrax vaccines. They give you 4. You got 2 at a time. And you know it's so stupid? It doesn't even say you got 2 at a time in 4 months. The guy said, the buddy, I think it was Buddy. Was it Buddy? I think it was him. The guy I met at the Water Shack yesterday when I told him that I had 8 anthrax vaccines and you got 2 at a time and they had formaldehyde in it. He's like, you're already embalmed. And I was like, holy shit, I am. That's 0.5 milliliters. 1. So that's 4. Never mind. I'm not me and numbers. No. Dates I'm pretty okay, but like numbers and math, no. I associate in a like my personal inability to do math and like because one of those I have a mind that like foil. Like, I mean, I see so many different ways to soothe the problem. I didn't know which way the teacher wanted me to do it. And it was hard because the way I see numbers. So, and then I had an algebra teacher, a pre-algebra teacher that would talk about what a constant math was. And then the very next week, I'm not even joking, the very next week, he would talk about the exceptions to the rules, and I was like, well, it's not a constant then. And then so to me, math was just this gigantic, huge contradiction of itself. I'm one of those. I'm good at geometry. Math is for the people that use it, and the people that use it in very manipulative ways. And I guess maybe that's why I don't have that kind of mind, because I'm not here to use my my mind to manipulate. I'm here to help teach people to feel of and by themselves, and so they can ask themselves questions in everyday circumstances if they themselves are being manipulated. Because the world is full of manipulators. And it's getting gnarly out there, man. It's getting gnarly. So, finally, thank you. I come back to stuff. The lady in Iowa that's been begging these sheriffs for years to freaking please come, and they even brought like cadaver dogs out there, and the dog hit on 2 spots, and that's still that's not enough. It's just like these fat dudes, that just sat at a desk for the last freaking 20 years, and they won't quit because they don't want a new generation coming in. So that's why all these people are hanging on for dear life for their positions, because they don't want turnover. They don't want to see the change, because they got all the power and control, and that will quickly go away as soon as they get up from those seats. So it's important that we got oh my God, turnover is necessary. Rotation of service, man. Congress is disgusting. This what this country has turned into is just makes me it's just gross. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing because I don't get embarrassed, but it's this place the people that live here could do a lot better than the choices that they make. That's all. And so they're finally going to come in and investigate finally, so it's more truths being revealed. The planets are aligning. I get to see freaking I got a good view of the planets where I live. Yeah, I even got some pretty trees too. So anyway, other news stories, still clueless. I was listening to Rick the astrologer, R-I-K, just R-I-K, and he put something up on like one of his on YouTube on the story about he did a reading that he did about the killings in Idaho, and that's that. I think that they should look into it. Is that he said that whoever did it was likely in the house on October 15th, and then they came back. And it was a party house, so it was somebody that that's so. There's a little tip for you there, Idaho police. Have them look into that. Fucking dummies, man. Other stories. I keep looking for the good ones. Stuff that's iffy, stuff that's fishy, stuff that I don't buy. I don't know. There's too much stories. Oh, Zach did say that Saturday, I think, is the 10th. And that's the kill date of the month. So look for the interesting stories to come up on Saturday. Mine I'm like, is because they keep telling everybody how they keep praying for Bruce Willis. It ain't right. When I was growing up, it seemed like somebody famous would die like every once in a while, right, Ma? It's like every day. These people that had that sold their souls and had these like great lavish lives, it's time to pay their piper, and their number, which is their birth date, when your number's up, and you roll that wonderful combination of which you will be the next ritual. I got one of those big birthdays. I got one of those like grand, those significant, not grand, but it's those significant numerical birthdays. April 9th. I'm the 99th day of the year. The 9th. And my birth time is 1101. I'm 1101. Yep. I know what I am. My first chart was done. I've been tracking the stars since I was born. My first chart was done on parchment paper when I was born. Mom knew somebody that had it, and I remember either that or as a memory from like looking at my Akashic record. I remember seeing it laid out, and it was all drawn out, and I was like, "That's me." Do you remember that? So that did happen? Yeah. See, Mom has memories of when we were young is just like 5 minutes now. She doesn't have those, but she has memories of it's cool. So, but yeah, I just was like, I mean, and I grew up next to the ocean in Morro Bay. We'd go down, I was a little autistic kid. We'd go down and I just talk to the captains of the boats, the fishing boats, and they taught me about the stars. I had good teachers and the importance and how, and I think that's why I've always been so drawn to astrology, because the stars are fixed in the sky. That's like the only consistent thing I've ever known, because where those stars fit in people's personalities, that combined with their free will and their potential to live in their shadow or their light, their heart or their ego, people get to choose how they act, and mostly people are doing all the good stuff for themselves and very little for others. And I hope there's a shift in that soon. I feel good about it. I was a little squirrely today, but it wasn't so bad. I just got up and got busy. See, that's the thing is because I'll lay down and like meditate or just like, because I've been getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, so I don't get a lot of sleep. And last night I didn't even go to bed until 11 because I was all excited I was doing research about the universities. There's 43 universities, 46 universities, and I got a veterinarian association page has a whole bunch of stats. That's the thing though, is all I want is like how many graduates a year, if people can help, like, cause like I used to have more access when I had a login to the college, cause from when I worked at Creighton, oh my god, anything I could find so much. The library, oh my gosh, it's a researcher's freaking. Anyway, it's hard for me because I just want to know how many people graduate a year from veterinary school, like total. And I guess it's 3,000 from all the combined colleges. Because I got an idea to help rural communities that are cool little places. It's like traveling nurses, and they have something kind of like it, but it's not. I looked it up to see if it already exists and to see if I could help expand upon it or get some ideas from the pre-existence. And it was like it kind of exists but not really. But if we could have a place, because it's there's too many animals getting hurt because there's too many animals because people don't spay and neuter, and it's a nightmare all over the place. And there's so many freaking rescues that are just like people that are just, oh God, they're taking all, and because it's the holidays, and see, the thing is people are trying to impress their family and friends and keep everything normal and buy the regular presents, but it ain't a regular year. And people are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they're going to overspend and overextend, and it's just stupid over a freaking bullshit made up freaking holiday. Santa's a little mixed up Satan. It's ridiculous. It's also stupid how much people put themselves through to just feel like they're like everybody else. And so, so there a lot of people are giving up their dogs. Because it's just an extra mouth to feed, so they're surrendering their dogs. I saw a post earlier that in the last 24 hours that somebody surrendered 12 dogs. It's like, don't get them. Don't get them if you don't think you're going to keep them until they die. It's so selfish. That's what tells me, it's like we're headed to that collective wave of bullshit. People ultimately living for themselves. And how we treat animals, shame on people. How dare them. And I freaking, breeders are the sex trade for animals, so shame on all of them too. And I have people I take it personally when somebody on my freaking Facebook feed gets a new dog from a breeder. I'm like, have I not been adamantly outspoken enough how much it sucks when people breed dogs, and you're breeding animals that live like 6-7 years because they're so inbred. They got all these abnormalities, or which are normalities because they're just all defective, and it's just so people could freaking sell them to make money off a dog's uterus. It's freaking, yep, this is what America is. Be proud of that. Have a parade for that. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day.